aside from music, you're married. The wedding's happened since then.
Who would ever thought? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So, and you spoke about Margie in the first one, but y'all been together for how long?
10 years.
10 years, yeah. And you were saying that she has been there through.
I had nothing.
Yeah.
I had nothing. I was working at the. So, when she was first with me, I was in my brother's basement.
Yep.
My brother Danny, me and Taman shared this little tiny space in the basement. At first we shared the same floor, then we shared the same bed, and I was finally able to afford to buy 2 beds.
Yeah.
And she was there for that.
Yeah.
And when I started working in the plant, she was there for that.
Yep.
Every train ride home in the pissing ass rain or the freezing ass snow cold, she'd be there with her. She had this old Buick Regal that she called Grandpa because her grandpa passed and left her this old Buick Regal.
Yeah.
And I would always see her lights. I always knew they were her lights, and it was like, it just felt good to be safe. Like I was home. When I seen her, I knew I was going home. It was gonna be warm, and it was like that was my spot.
Like, that was like your lighthouse.
Comfort. Yeah.
That's what you said.
So I got the lighthouse on my. It's got an M right there on the bottom.
Yeah, dude. And what's cool too, man, is like, I was gonna ask you, is that do you think about those times a lot?
Yeah, all the time. I was terrible to her.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of, I would go out and drink. I was a binge drinker, so Friday night I wouldn't even come home, you know.
And it's because I've never, knowing that that's how you used to be, I would have never, because I've
women,
I've only known you since like you stopped drinking.
Dude, like I was a complete, just pushed her away all the time. I was still to this day battling with so many things that I haven't addressed throughout my life, you know, from my childhood and even being a young adult and shit. And but yeah, man, I would go out and I would drink, and that was I was one of the funnest guys to be around drinking because I was just not gonna stop drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't come home. Some days I'd pull up into the driveway half unconscious, and the door would fling open, and I'd end up falling asleep like in the car, and I was like a dog that was a dog pound didn't know.
She was coming to get you out of the
pound.
Man.
Yeah, man. Like I was getting, arrested in fights and bars, and I remember coming home half my lip hanging off my face, and she was like, "You need to go to the hospital," 'cause it was bad. It was like deep, and my lip was like hanging.
Fighting at the bars.
Yeah. And I was like, I'll go tomorrow when I wake up, and I woke up the next day and went, and they stitched me up. Like, she see me burn, 2nd and 3rd degree burns all over my arms. I mean, I was shooting that video. Now we're fast forward in the struggle, but like, she see me just concussed from boxing and shit like that, and she she'd show up to a bar, and I wanted me to come home, and I'd run out of that bar down the street to another, and there was, that lifestyle, I was just like self-destruct mode, and I lived like that even after I got a name in this, social media and everything. Then I was like, oh yeah, now this is on. Now, now people know who I am.
You was doing the drinking, and you had like the popularity.
Yeah, and a lot of it's hard to say, but there's women every turn you make, and constantly I was just like, I can remember we lived in this house actually. This was the big house. Finally made it to the big house.
Yeah.
And I said, that's it, leave. And I got her own place. And I wasn't drinking at the time, but I was very mentally ill. Mm-hmm. And I went bonkers. I mean, anything you guys can think of besides drugs and alcohol, I was just running rampant. Money, I was throwing around everything you can. I was out in the front yard cutting trees down with an axe. I bought all these axes, and I was sharpening them up, and I was just falling trees in my yard. And my brother pulled up one day and was like, "What the fuck are you doing? I've been calling you, no one can get a hold of you." And I was fucked. I was gone. I was lost. I went and tried to check myself into the to like a mental thing, and they wouldn't take me because I wasn't suicidal. I didn't want to kill myself. I just thought I was dying. Like my soul was gone. You know, like I was just lost. I had no idea where I was, who I was, where I was going. I just wanted to, you know.
You think it was just a culmination of a lot of stuff? Not dealing, maybe the stuff from your childhood, and do you think a lot of it was when, like, you didn't have Margie either?
I think it was, I think it was a culmination of my whole life, and then I didn't know how to handle all this like popularity and all this shit that was going on, and then I was like, I want to be free. I want to be able to. I want to fuck Instagram bitches. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And you know, that's like the most emptiest shit in the world.
Yeah.
You know, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy, guess what? That money don't mean shit. You might as well be broke.
Yeah.
You know? And I just wanted to do I just wanted to be free and do whatever the fuck I wanted. Well, little did I know being free and doing whatever you wanted is fucking lame.
Yeah.
You're living for yourself.
You had what you wanted. You just didn't know it until
I didn't know. So this is what ended up happening. So I leave to go to fucking who knows where. I'm somewhere in the country on a plane. And Margie came to pick up Shug, a dog that we adopted now 6 years ago.
The black dog.
The black dog.
Oh, yeah.
Shug. Yeah.
Shout out Shug.
Shout out Shug.
Yeah.
Gray calls him Bear.
Yeah.
I come home, I'm out here cutting, I'm talking big trees, dog.
You was a lumberjack.
No, I'm talking, these trees were fucking gigantic trees.
God, you was just,
I have no idea why I chose that. I think it was because I was sweating and getting whatever the fuck out of me. I don't have my phone ever on me at this time because I don't want to talk to fucking no one. So she's calling my phone to drop the dog off, and I'm not answering. She comes halfway up the driveway, and I hear, "I'm not coming up there." And I'm like, "Just fucking come up here, quit being a bitch." And anyone that knows Margie, that's the last word anyone would describe Margie.
Right.
Like everyone loves. She's like loved by everyone.
Oh yeah, she's great. Yeah.
And I was just such a fuck, you know. And she finally drives up right to the edge, and my driveway is, you know, long as fuck. She drives all the way up to the edge where the asphalt starts, and I'm like, just get out of the fucking car, like bring the dog in, like just quit. She gets out, and she's just, her face is sunk in, and Margie's got a fat ass, and her ass is, I did that to her. I made her sick.
Yeah.
You know? And I always told her, I'm not having any kids. I'm not getting married. I'm not doing none of that shit. Because in my family, everyone that's gotten married has gotten divorced. Yeah. You know, kids, raising kids, and the kids are with your mom, and then every other weekend with the dad. I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm not doing that.
So because you're jaded. You're
plus I'm like living for me. I wasn't thinking, what about her though? And when I saw her, first of all, anyone watching this video, men cry. They should cry.
Yeah.
Me, I never cried. And I thought that was being a man. And my son asked me, "Dad, why don't you ever cry?" And I told him, "Well, what's there to cry about?" And that was my son asking me this. So my son always tries not to cry. Yeah. But then one day I told him, I said, "Hey," this is recently, I said, "Hey, I don't cry because there's something wrong with me, you know?" And now recently from having my daughter and my son and just, it's okay to cry sometimes. I might go off in the corner and you don't see it, but it's good to have.
The kids knocked that wall down.
Yeah, it's good to come out. Like I was recording that song about my grandfather, and I had to step outside of the booth and walk outside, and it was one of those violent cries, like, like those ones. And
it's been in there for a minute, bro.
yeah, and I've been holding it in. So
they don't make them like they used to, right?
Yeah, that one. So I go back to the Margie thing.
Yeah.
She looked emaciated to me. She looked sick. And I fucking did that to this woman, and she doesn't deserve it. She's the greatest woman. I just started crying. I held on to her, I started crying, and she broke down and, you know, is hysterical. And I said, don't leave. This is your home. Never leave again. If I go through this again, I'll fucking leave. I want to get married. Let's have kids. Let's fucking do it all. We did it kind of backwards. We had Gray first.
Yeah, but I mean.
And then we got married in the courthouse.
Yeah.
And then our wedding, we had the big ceremony for everyone in January.
You knew what the end goal was.
Yeah, and we got there.
Yeah.
And we got there. And
was seeing her, was it like a switch?
Instant.
Yeah.
Instant. It was like she was the most selfless. All she cared about was me, and all she wanted was to be loved. And all I wanted to do was do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. And I didn't change because she told me to. Margie never was like, why are you doing this? Why do you act like She was a sponge, and she just absorbed all of the like anger that I had in me, you know, and she never, ever, ever gave any kickback. She never asked where I was. She never was jealous or insecure. She never fucking said, get my shit together. She just was there to hold me and hug me and love me as I basically was just throwing a fucking gigantic adult temper tantrum, just drinking and being a crazy fuck.
You were a broken person.
So bad.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And then we had Gray, and then I was like,
yeah, this is
imagine
different.
not having her.
Yeah.
When I think of that, I'm like, you selfish
You were against that, yeah.
Like, I can't imagine
idea.
my life without her.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
I don't want to live a life that my daughter isn't in this world.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then, you know, then we got married in the courthouse, and Gray's there.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And she was like a year old or some shit. And then we got, you know, we had the big wedding, and Gray was walking at that time and stuff like that. And another fucking thing fell off of me. Another, you know, weight fell off of me. And then, you know, in the midst of all that too, my son came home from the military.
Yep.
I was kind of lost without him as well.
Yep.
And then we have another son. And it's just like, fuck, thank you, God, like, for getting me here. You know, I'm surprised I'm here, alive and here. And I'm thankful. And I don't even know how this sounds to people who are watching this, but that's my real life. That's
That's real, bro.
And I'm not. This isn't like I'm not trying to do anything but tell you guys my life. That's my job, is to tell you my life. And I guess you could take it how you want it, but here we are today.
Being able to tell that, I think that was really dope, man. Everything was dope today, but I think that is going to stand out.
You know, took a long time to get here, and I almost didn't have this family.
Yeah.
I couldn't picture my life. I wouldn't want to be here without these people. That without Gray, without LC, without Tame, and without Margie, I wouldn't want to be here.
Yeah.